This is Charles Amirkhanian. On this program, music of Robbie Basho.
Come, walk ye the golden corridors of the King. The windows are open, the time it is spring. And do not fear it, for I am the Queen.
On this program, you're going to be listening to music by Robbie Basho, one of Berkeley's beautiful people who plays guitar music extraordinaire and who for many years has devoted his life to the composing of the most unusual music for that instrument that I think I've heard. Robbie was born in Baltimore, but moved out to the West Coast in the early 60s and became well known as a recording artist for Tacoma Records. And the occasion for this program is the release of a brand new record from Vanguard called Zarthus. You heard the opening piece, which was a piece called Zarthus, at the beginning of this program. Robbie, this is 12-string guitar music. Do you always use 12-string guitar in your pieces?
No. See, I went through many periods. My Japanese period, my Hindu period. I started off with a little bit of the blues and so forth. And I had a long Hindu period, then my American Indian period. Now this is my Persian period. You see, and I really love classical Persian music. This is using the Hindu Raga style, but it's saying it in a Persian way. Zarthus, is an anglicized shortened form of Zarathustra.
Mm-hmm.
Means sun disk. Now, to get back to your question, no, I used 6 and 12 string and piano these days. I try to play the piano like the Santuri and like the Svara Mandala, and I try to play the 12 any way I can. 12. See, the whole thing is, me, Kotke, and Fahey 10 years ago started taking the steel string guitar and really trying to make it a concert instrument. And that's what we're into. And the steel string, a gut string is great for, love music and so forth, but the steel, you can get fire. And you can ride and you can fly. You got your ponies and you got your airplane. You can do all kinds of things with steel. And, the raga, you can't do a really raga the way a Hindu would like it done, but you can come close to it. At least you can get the feeling. At least you can get first, second, third, and overdrive, But I figure if you do anything with taste and a little bit of sincerity, I can't see it does any harm.
How'd you get into Eastern music?
It's very funny because when I started out, there was a big cult in D.C. in the University of Maryland of country blues. It's kind of the only vitality around. The music of those days was so artificial, that we couldn't believe it. And we got into this, and some of those old blues players really had a vitality, Some of those people were incredible, what they were putting down, They were outside. They were, really outside, and you could hear it. And I was doing that and thought I was doing something, and then I heard Hindu music. And I got my first Ravi Shankar album, and I used to sit in a dark room for hours and hours and hours and just listen to it. And I took on from there. But I discovered Zen in my latter part of college, and I had a heavy Japanese trip going at the same time. So it's a combination of Japanese philosophy and the Hindu music where I started to turn. And it could have done me more harm than good, because most of the boys stuck in their own backyard, quote America, and did that thing. Here I was tripping out all over the place, running around. But I don't know. I found a lot of joy in these other things, and I tried to bring the dignity and the aesthetic goodies of these other cultures back into what I wanted to say.
You think people our age sort of got into this sort of stuff, your concerts and by hearing your records? Have you had good responses from people?
People that know what I'm doing, rave about me. People that don't put me down hard as the Dickens. I don't sell very well, and that's the problem, because I don't know. I don't call a lot of my stuff far out. I just call it a different level of feeling. I mean, it's far in as far as I'm concerned. A deeper feeling. I don't consider a raga so much far out. It's just it's a high feeling. And that's the thing. I spent years on the road singing folk songs that had no meaning, just emoting these things. And it got dawned on me, music is supposed to say something. Music is supposed to do something, And I, like a turnaround, tried to really, musical grail questing. Then I started trying to see how high and beautiful I could go, in a sense, you say. But then you leave the masses behind, and that's the problem. So the idea is to get something beautiful that people can understand. Now I'm still trying to bring myself around to communicate with the mass audience. It's just, I don't know, it's just, I guess the super ego isn't satisfied with, meat and potatoes music anymore. I mean, it really wants, the best it can get, And these periods are something, but I'm just bugged because America culturally has its head in the garbage can instead of the honey pot. And by God, I think it could use a little of the dignity of other cultures to say what it wants to say. I know I'm writing classical pieces. I have a little symphony called Land of Our Fathers, which portrays the North American continent as it was 50,000 years ago, and as a beautiful young woman, and her voice singing to the universe. So I cry every time I play it, but it's so big that I have to find an arranger and orchestra somewhere. But at least I've banged it out. I mean, this kind of thing, you can use these other cultures, the dynamics. You can use French finesse, German dynamics, Persian flair. I mean, all these little things you can really put into it, really make it sound beautiful. I mean, this is what I'm trying to do on guitar. See how many different ways the guitar can be portrayed.
We're going to listen now to Robbie playing Khoda e Guleabe, which is a Persian rag. Could you tell us about it?
Khoda e Guleabe. Well, I've played this many, many times, and my guitar broke on me in studio when I was recording it, so it's not exactly the way it ought to be. The way it ought to be is really pretty, and I have one tape of it. But the Persians play in gushes. A gush is just a flowing out of melody at different tempos, and different little melodic things. In other words, it's a sectionized raga is what it really is. And it's more closer to the it's kind of a combination of the Western music and the Hindu thing. So what I wanted to do was, it has, an opening, an introduction, then one little melody that says a certain speed and goes a little faster, then back slow again. They don't go in for the organic climax as much as the Hindus do in their music. Persian music is very funny. The Santuri, the best drummer I ever saw was a Persian drummer. I mean, he did everything, but jump up in the air or something with just the one drum. I never saw anything like it. He went to a concert and he said, "These are my credentials," and he went bip, 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 bip. 7 minutes later, he was going faster. Until he got it up to an incredibly fast rhythm. I couldn't believe it. But you have to be almost high to understand Persian music because it's a very cerebral thing, the Santuri. But this is just, I was playing it, and it's just that it's called the Lord of the Blue Rose because aesthetically God is blue in many aspects. And when something dawns upon you musically, it's usually blue. At least to me it is. Either blue or gold or something like that. But that's why it's called the Lord of the Blue Rose.
Khoda e Guliabe was performed by Robbie Basho on a new Vanguard recording. If you'd like to write down the number, the title of the album is Zarthus, Zarthus, and the number Vanguard 79339.
Tower Records.
Shh. we're going to hear next three more pieces from this first side of the album, which are very beautiful pieces. The first one is Mehera. The second is Robbie's song Khalil Gibran, which is my favorite on the album. And then we'll hear Bride Divine. Would you like to introduce us to the Mehera?
Well, Mehera means Mary in Persian. And Mary is the divine mother aspect. And so this is Persian for the same. Of course, there is a woman in India called Mehera, who I had very much in mind for this, and she was the, you might say, number one disciple of Meher Baba.
Oh, yeah?
Well, she was very special. She's not a wife or a Radha. She's more like a very Sita. She's more like a Sita. She was his consuelo, his comfort. Consuelo is the only word, I go with 3 and 4 languages at a time because each language is a perfect word for a certain thing. And consuelo is what Mehera was to Meher Baba, which, of course, who is the avatar of the age. And, when people understand what avatar means, then it's not difficult to understand because he's not guru, he's, God. So anyway, and this is done in I guess it's the Spanish chord clusters with using Latin.
And then Khalil Gibran, is this a song you wrote?
Yes,
it's your text, isn't
I read a bunch of Gibran's books, and I never understood any of them when I first read him, and I said, what a drag. And then I got a little more sensitive and read, and I saw the beautiful fabric of his poetry. Not only did he have beautiful fabric, but he had incredible wisdom.
The words in the song Allah Nazul, Allah Rahim, what do those mean?
Allah Nazul means Lord, like Lord, look down, keep your gaze upon me. Allah Rahim means have mercy on us.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much beauty in the Islamic culture. The trouble is, you see, the Prophet, they were so hung up in idolatry, the Prophet really hit them hard on that. And they don't have any way to portray it to the West. They can't make movies or anything so we can see how beautiful he was. And that's their hang-up, So their language is their prize. And, who can read Arabic? Not very many. But my inspiration was the Lebanese singer Ferouz. And her husband has learned Western orchestration, and he's into Tchaikovsky and a whole lot of people, and they're blending this. And it's very beautiful. It's the music the way it should be, because the real Islamic music wound up in Spain, see? And that was the inspiration for the whole Rhapsody in Druz, which we'll hear later on.
Oh, yeah. Then after Khalil Gibran is Bride Divine, another of your songs?
Yeah, another one of my creations. Well, that's to express a certain feeling. The Arabs have 2 words for love. One is ishq, mudzadzi, human love, and the other is ishq hakiki, which is divine love. And this song is of the divine love, ishq hakiki.
3 songs now by Robbie Basho from his new album Zarthus.
Khalil Gibran got his place of sorrow 'neath the cedar of Lebanon. Allah Nazur, Allah Laki, Lord, look down and thou broken will. In thy dark hour, when Satan's wrath has looked upon and hooked upon thy sacred flower, Allah Nazur, Allah Rakib, Lord, look down, man now broken And when the nightingale sings his love song to the rose, she'll come again. Then she appears now, veiled in blue, feet upon the moon. Thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Thy will be done. Allah Nazur, Allah Rahim, Lord, look down, mend our broken will. Ya Bui, Ya Bui, oh, mend our broken will. And when the nightingale nightingale sings her love song to the rose. He'll come Khalil Gibran. And cradled you slightly, and for a while you were my own true love, and for a while you were mine own true love. Oh, Queen, what love? Oh, Queen, oh, what love? Standing in my armor bright, I watched you weeping in the tower at twilight, the tower at twilight, and to the ends of earth I fly to you, and to the ends of time I love. Oh, Queen, what love? Oh, Queen, oh, what love? Oh, what love? Oh, bright divine, in my arms I've held you lightly and kissed you slightly, and for a while you were my own true love, and for a while you were mine own true love. Oh, Queen, what love? Oh, Queen, oh, what love?
been listening to Robbie Basho and the songs from his album Zarthus, which is on Vanguard Records, recently released, Mehera, Khalil Gibran, and Bride Divan.
Can you believe just a few years ago, I was just a foot-stomping folk singer, right? And I got on this scholar kick. That's what college does for you.
It's amazing.
Well, there's so much in a man. There's so many layers to a man. I was born Anglo-Saxon Scotch, and I'll be doggone if I'm going to be limited to that trip, I have a love for Japan, for China, for the Islamic thing, the American Indian. And I figure you crack one bag, you can crack them all. And a lot of these things are there, and,
And that's essentially what's happening in the next piece we're going to hear, I think. This is a 20-minute composition with piano called Rhapsody in Druz. What is Druz?
Oh, Druz, my favorite subject.
Tell me.
All right. The Druzes are the Sufis of Lebanon. Now, what do you mean by Sufis? Sufis it means men of wisdom. It just simply means wisdom. And it doesn't get hung up with any particular religion. It's just a whole bunch of things. And these are they're mountain people. They used to live in Persia, and they came to the Lebanon area around 900. And, their heritage is from Persia, which is ultimately from Egypt. Sufis are very old, 10,000 years ago. Very, very old concept. And they just had a very strong race of very deeply religious men and fighters. They pushed the French to the sea. I like France too, but not when France is misbehaving, And some of those men have come over to this country, and I've got to know them, and I love to hear their stories. But it's a beautiful thing because they pray to Allah. But if you say the name of Christ in vain, they'll say, well, what do you think about our liege Lord Jesus Christ? They know who Christ is. This is different from, typical, the typical, the Islamic line, which is, everything's separated. There's only one. I mean, they have an idea of all these things. But, they're kind of a favorite people of mine, and I get my inspiration from them, and a lot of it, of course, I don't know what religion she is, but Feiruz. In Lebanon, see, there's Christians and Arabs on, all over the place. I mean, they're just a huge, you can't believe it, there's Muslim Christians and Christian Muslims. It's a hodgepodge. So it doesn't bother me, but the feeling is there. And I like the blend, because with the pure Islamic stuff, it's a very hard masculine feeling, and with the Christian thing, you have a little bit of that Mary Virgin thing, the feminine. So the blend is rather nice. There's a good balance there. So that's what it is. Now, the Rhapsody in Druz, which has, there's no pun intended, is simply, I think, it's a montage of little spiritual vignettes and scenes all kind of put together, little sections and so off. It's a journey, which is you're going to, in a sense, it goes to see a master and take his blessing and then go home again, basically. But it's all these other little themes woven in there, too. The flowers of the heart and so forth. I plan to do a bigger thing with this. This is the first attempt at classical music I've ever done. The Rhapsody itself could be on a scale like the Hungarian Rhapsody, just the main first theme. But I just didn't want to take that any further right at this time. I just wanted to state that first little thing and keep going on.
Some of the piano work reminds me of Hovhannes a little bit. Do you know his music?
I don't know. He's, if I had a musical guru, he'd be it. He's the finest. It's a shame. In Europe, even the street sweeper knows the finest composers and what pieces and so forth. And I bet if 10% know of that man in this country, I'll eat my guitar strap. He's the loftiest composer this country's ever had, and possibly of this 20th century age. He's really beautiful. And, Mysterious Mountain, my God, he's got a double fugue where he pulls the soul through these spirals. The soul is the trumpets coming through these spirals created by,
It's strings, I think, yeah.
these spirals of strings, and he pulls the trumpets through I don't know how many times and up to the top of the mountain, and it's an incredible thing. And then there's Fra Angelica, which is,
Oh, amazing piece, yeah.
oh, that's really, I talked to him about that. I don't know, somehow or other I got him to see me on his way to see his sister. And he told me he was laying in bed asleep, and something just pulled him right up out of bed, right, and put it down. And he, he had to figure out a way to, get a setting for the gem. No, he's a real, I've looked at scores, and to be able to do that, all that pencil work, the amount of mind power and, just incredible work and dignity it takes to do that. I hate to write music, and I'm trying to get it down the best I can. Oh, God, it's hard for me, But, arranging that stuff, but, like, the mental powers of him and, like, somebody like Vaughan Williams, who was very close to him, they both started out their main pieces the same way for about 4 bars, can believe it or not. The Fantasy on Talus. If you listen to that and Mysterious Mountain, the same 4 bars, it's the same tone. And Hovhannes goes up into the mountains, and Vaughan Williams goes into church. It's incredible. But
Well,
I could rap about that all day. No, Hovhannes is my hero, that way, and he's had a hard, tough life, and he's very much a gentleman of the old school, and, just because it's an old thing, but it's so beautiful. I wrote a poem once called, The Modern American Artistic Mood. Little trinkets of iron which click and clatter together with barely a breath of heart. And that's how I feel this modern. I used to go to the art festivals and play, and I can't even do it anymore. They're just garbage.
I really enjoyed the concert you gave in Berkeley recently, because it was all your own music. It wasn't set side by side with conflicting sorts of things, and it seemed to me a very nice setting to hear a lot of different pieces of yours.
George Forrest does a good job up there at Live Oak Park. He really does. They run a good show, and you can really create the mood you want. And the people were very, very warm to me up there.
Yeah, it was a beautiful evening. And now we're going to listen to him playing on his new record, Zarthus. This is called Rhapsody in Druz. That was Rhapsody in Druz by Robbie Basho, and it's on Vanguard. The album is called Zarthus. It's just out, and it's very, very beautiful. We still have a little time. Maybe we can hear something else of yours. Have you got something you'd like to play?
Yes, the first thing that I ever recorded that came from the heart was I was recording, I was still in my Japanese period. It's called the Tassajara Zen Shinji. It was a dedication song to the first Zen monastery in the country. And I played it with a lovely woman called Susan Grobard. And both of us, we went over and over and over, and I told her the structure of it, you know, and we just, the first take, the second take, and the thing was splendid. Just was a very beautiful gift, and I'd like to share that.
Tassajara Zen Shinji from the Falconer's Arm Volume 1 on Tacoma Records, the performer Robbie Basho, assisted by Susan Grobard. Robbie's our guest today on KPFA, and we're going to hear next a piece of his called California Raga.
California Raga I'm really happy with because this country has California has a beautiful voice. You know, parts of the country and states have voices, and this country has a beautiful, you know, deep, deep voice. Doesn't get heard enough, really, you know. But at another date, if we do any more, I'll do a thing called Calafia, which is, you know, is the core of what I feel for California. Which, you know, there was a Lemurian queen who lived here around 14,000 years ago. And all our subjects wore gold, and everybody was rather happy. And the Spanish got legends of this during the Crusades. and they still remembered her name, Calafia, which is actually an Islamic word.
Is that how we got California?
Yeah, that's how it became California. Kali means hot furnace, something like that. Hot furnace. That's the name for California, which means, blistering hot. That's, that's where they got it from. But the California Raga just paints a picture, and you hear me talking poetry in the middle of it. It's this kind of deity of the state, this beautiful, beautiful dark-haired queen with this. She's wearing this dark Cordova hat with a fringe and this wine-colored suit and lace, and she's riding at night, and she, contacts the lovers of the heart type of thing, and they follow after her, and this one of these. She's the California version of Layla. Layla is the divine temptress. Oh Lord, we need a Layla in this country. Persia they have Majnun and Layla. Here we have Frankie and Johnny, and I'm so damn tired of Frankie and that, knock 'em down, sock 'em type of thing. And this country's made of better stuff than that, And this is an attempt for a California Layla.
The valley in the sun, where the grapes are grown. Come with a smile and stay a while. You're on your own. You're on your own. Ballanitando se baciaban, se vogliamo, e abbattiamo quando se vogliamo. There's a legend in the land of California of a queen who rides by night and taunts the watchers of the heart to follow. And this I've heard, and of the few who've seen her, fewer yet have followed. They say she comes at midnight and picks her lovers carefully, so very carefully without a sound. This lady of the night, La Senora del Noche, Dios, she rides a white spotted stallion and wears a suit of red Spanish wine and fills a blouse of white Spanish lace. A black Cordovan hat with dancing fringe adorns her face. Her face smooth as almonds, her raven locks curling at the temples, and her eyelids, how they quivered with dignity. And her eyes, oh, her eyes, like sabers, sabers cutting the night away, cutting the night away. And always she rides, looking back over her shoulders so haughty, so high-born, as if to say, catch me if you can, oh man, and if you follow, the sky will swallow, and I will leave you, my love, in the willows by the mountain, the big blue mountain with the white silver cone, and you will wait, till it will open.
That was the California Raga by Robbie Basho. Robbie, we're going to close the program with Leaf in the Wind. Why don't you tell us about it?
This is I want to do an album in the future, God willing, if only, I got a couple record companies kind of down on me at the moment, but the material that I have, it's either going to be Warriors of the Rainbow or Visions of the Country, something like this. And this is a song from it, and it is so beautiful. It just captures the very deep feeling in this country, and it's American Indian, I would say. It's very Indian, but very high, very, very high Indian. The words seem to say with it, walk on high, my beloved. I hear the thunder call your name. Walk on high, my beloved. A lordly river runs through your veins. And it's very beautiful. And then I do a thing, what wondrous love is this, oh my soul. Like just, that English song, it just felt, naturally came on the end of it. So I got this, encompassed both of them. But the Indians have been here an awful long time, and, I think they had a very structured, lordly, very kingly type of beginning, and I think after they got scattered, then they got into the small bands thing, so I think they had a very deep beginning, and, I'm very fond of Yuma Sumac and some of these things, because it's the heart of this country is very important, and, the music is just, music I hear today, it's just, roughing their fingers through the grass on the surface. Nobody's gotten to the depths of this country, and I think we should before everything goes.
That was Leaf in the Wind, performed by Robbie Basho. Robbie, thanks for being our guest today. It's nice to have you back at KPFA. It's been a long time, huh?
Oh, yeah, well, when McCluskey left, there was a great void. I don't know where Scruffy Dan is these days.
I don't either. Probably out selling TV sets.
We did a lot of beautiful things in this studio. If we get a chance, we'll play some of the things I recorded here, and some of it was very, very fine stuff. You know, it was good days here, and it's just, things go in cycles. The first day in Berkeley, I walked in here, and there was a Hindu dancing woman, and she said, "Hello, will you be my accompanist?" And I said, "Why not?" I went through an incredible thing with her. I learned a lot.
I'd like to thank Robbie Basho, who's one of the great composers for the guitar, 6 and 12 string, and who's doing very, very significant things, I think, with world music and making some exciting new forms. Robbie, thanks for being our guest.
Thank you so much, Charles.
My thanks to Robbie Basho, Berkeley guitarist, who is my guest tonight on Ode to Gravity. This has been Charles Amirkhanian for Pacifica Radio in Berkeley, KPFA.
In thy dark hour, when Satan's wrath has looked upon and hooked upon thy sacred flower,